I'm a huge Aaron Glenn fan. Huge is a strong word. I am an Aaron Glenn fan. I've always liked listening to him. I think he's got a finger on the pulse of his team in his locker room. And I think he was a big reason why the defense got better last year as the season went on. However, probably my biggest thought today is when you have a team in the Chargers that isn't doing much and the Lions are looking like they could run away and hide, and then the Chargers score 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, 5 consecutive touchdowns on 5 consecutive possessions. This could be the product of a couple of things. But one thing you ask, and I ask, is where was the adjustment? Why wasn't there anything done? 1 touchdown in a row is not a reason, 1 touchdown drive is not a reason to be concerned. After 2, you have to think, okay, they've got something, we need to make an adjustment. After 3, for sure, you have to adjust something. It got to 4 and 5. Now, did they make an adjustment and it simply didn't work? Was it just one of those days where the Chargers and Herbert and Keenan Allen having a hot day? All possible. It's all possible. But, in a true moment, in an honest moment, when the defensive staff is sitting around and taking a look back at that game, how it went, what changes they made, if any, what is the result of that conversation? Did they really make changes in that game? Were they too stubborn? Did they make the wrong changes? Sometimes teams just have a day, right? Yeah. And the Chargers that day might have just had a day.
They may have, but I think that the Chargers are. Here's the thing: the Chargers are capable.
Yep.
All right, they've got a quarterback that has been snake bit because of the team that he's on. He's like the modern day Dan Marino as we look at him, without really having playoff options. But he's got a great receiver to work with in Keenan Allen, and those two are as in sync as any tandem in football. So you've got that working with you. I think it's okay to say that the Los Angeles Chargers they're quite capable of being a very good offensive team. And the Lions, unfortunately, are also capable of just laying an egg sometimes, and sometimes they can't get out of their own way. Dan Campbell said afterwards, after the game, that, or maybe he said it yesterday after practices, that it's a situation that the team got a little discombobulated out there when they went to a no huddle situation. They were a little lost, and being lost, it snowballs, and they didn't play as well as they should have, and they think they can correct those mistakes. Okay, it feels like every time that we have the discussion about the defense laying an egg,
yep,
that Aaron Glenn responds. He and the defense respond the next week.
Right, he doesn't call our show.
He's not responding like, listen, y'all.
But feel free.
Yeah, please. No, the team responds on the field the next week. And so here's another opportunity. Respond. You may or may not be playing against a quarterback that is more mobile than any quarterback in the National Football League. But he may not be playing because maybe he's not ready to go yet. Eberflus hasn't said he's going to play yet. He says we still need some time to think about it if Justin Fields is going to play. But if he does play, he does present a challenge for the Lions because of his mobility. And they are starting to develop some weapons there in Chicago offensively, but it's not a good football team. They've got a pretty good defense, and they've added to that defense, again, through the trade deadline by bringing in Sweat. So there are challenges there with the Bears.
Now, to be fair, like early in that game, whatever the Lions were dialing up was working. Chargers had the ball 4 times and kicked the field goal.
Yeah.
Then after that, over on their sideline, did they do something and the Lions had no counterpunch? Because the Chargers went 10 plays, 75 yards, 10 plays, 75 yards, 10 plays, 77 yards, 16 plays, 68 yards, 7 plays, 68 yards.
The 16-play drive. And that's where I was actually impressed with the defense and how they bowed their neck, Doug.
Looked like they had a third down stop. No pass interference. They BYN'd. They looked like there was 2 pass interference calls on Cam Sutton in that drive.
And the other thing that I look at too, though, okay, it was not a very good game overall defensively, but they left some points out on the field offensively too.
Yeah.
And probably at least another 7 points were left on the field. Does that change things for what the Chargers do, where, do they maybe not have as much faith in being able to come back, or, or what? Is that a possibility? Or even if let's say the Chargers still do what they do, if you add 7 more points to that, it's another double-digit win.